Hi there, I'm Colin Lamb. I hope you're doing very well wherever it is that you may happen to be. I'm doing fantastic. Thank you very much for asking. Cheers to you and cheers to me. In today's video, I'm going to be taking a listen to the Melvins for the first time. Seriously. I'm aware of the Melvins a little bit. I've seen some live stuff from them that kind of was floating around a few years ago. They were on a show called Strombo, which is a show hosted by a former Canadian VJ. He was on Much Music up here in Canada, which was our version of MTV. And I kind of checked that out, but I wasn't really sold on it. But lately, I've been logging on to social media, specifically Facebook, and there's been a lot of clickbait articles that kind of quotes one thing or another that Buzz Osborne, the singer of the Melvins, sideshow-looking Bob Mafk, or if you want a more global reference, a David Luiz or Marilyn Fellaini-looking Mafk, and he kind of comes across as a grumpy old man who lends himself to these clickbait articles that I keep seeing on my Facebook feed, in between, pictures of people's babies and being invited to events that I have no intention of ever attending. But anyways, recently I saw this one here on ultimateguitar.com, which has just become a clickbait thing right now. It's fun to read these articles that upset people and look into the comments below and maybe leave a little snarky comment and never come back to the post ever again. But anyways, this one, Buzz Osborne names one thing that Nirvana and grunge fans don't get. Quote, they have no understanding of these people. So I'll further in the article, he says, with Nirvana, millions and millions of people like their stuff, but millions of those people won't like our stuff. They can't understand why Nirvana liked us, which shows they have no understanding of what these people think in the first place. He's referring to Nirvana. Goes on to talk about Soundgarden. Same with Soundgarden. A lot of Soundgarden fans can't understand why they would ever like a band like us. It's because you can't understand them at all. They like us. You don't believe it. You don't see why, because you don't understand it. Now, just reading that, again, it kind of paints Buzzo, as he's called out, to be a grumpy old man, and one of the worst defenses for your art when you don't reach the success that you may have. I just think about stand-up comedy. Whenever you see a comedian failing and they're like, they just don't understand the jokes, that it always comes off as a little bit pathetic to me, to be honest. He does, however, go on to say in the article, there's nothing I can do about it. That's just the way it is. I don't mind that. I'm fine with millions of people who don't like our stuff, but enough will, and I'm very grateful for that. So that's the part of the article that is the real title, because he does say some kind of curmudgeon-y things, as he usually does, and then he kind of says something that's nice. He appreciates the fans that he does have. Now, I've also seen an interview that he did, a little snippet on a Facebook reel that I couldn't find, where he talks about Dave Grohl calling him up and wanting to hang out and go do something, and he never returned the call. And he kind of laughs like it's a funny story. Like, it didn't seem malicious, but like, I never heard of the Melvins until I listened to Nirvana, and even years later in interviews where they talked about the Melvins. I never would have heard about, I don't think a lot of us would have heard about the Melvins if a band like Nirvana hadn't championed them. And years later, when Dave Grohl, obviously the drummer from Nirvana, reaches out to him and wants to hang out, and he's kind of like, yeah, fuck you. That just seems, it kind of adds to his grumpy old man image. But enough about that. I want to listen to this band. I don't want to just judge a guy based on the interviews that he's doing years later. And a lot of celebrities, they answer stuff in the moment, and I don't think they ever think about it again. But it gets published on snarky clickbait magazines, and people like me read it and are confused, but intrigued, and that's the important thing. So after a long intro, let's check this out. I didn't know where to start with this band. If you have any recommendations that might have been a better place to start, let me know. I just looked for the most viewed video. It's not even an official thing of theirs. They don't really have much in the way of official stuff up on YouTube. But if you think that there's something I'm missing, and if I shouldn't have listened to this first, let me know. But this is my first listen to the Melvins in earnest, and it's a song called Honey Bucket off their album Houdini, which I read in the little description was actually produced by Kurt Cobain. So I'm excited to hear it. This is the Melvins Houdini, or the album Houdini, and the song Honey Bucket on the Tone 98 point Grumpy Old Man Yelling at Clouds. this up a little bit. This would be a good opener for a live set. This is punishing. Oh. Here's some groove. Pulling out the dagger. Sounds like thrash metal. Notice it's a two-headed puppy. Right off the bat, I can imagine that maybe that was a poor place to start getting into the Melvins. I did enjoy the track. I just, right off the bat, the rhythmic kind of chugging way they came in, and the guitar parts were kind of tumbling in on top of each other. It kind of reminded me a little bit of, and I mean, I guess I should say that the Queens of the Stone Age remind me a little bit of that the riffery there. And I didn't think they were going to break into a groove at one point because just the guitar parts kept kind of tumbling over. That was a pretty classic fuzz tone. The drumming, I mean, it sounded like that was definitely recorded live. And I don't have a lot of frame of reference for a band like that. My interpretation of the Melvins from the limited stuff that I do know is that they were kind of the thing that inspired the big thing that we all love. So having heard the evolution of their influence in bands like Nirvana and Soundgarden, hearing the earlier stuff that came before that can be a little challenging, even though I understand this album came out in 1993 when Nirvana was already kind of in full swing. But did I enjoy that? It was interesting to listen to. The track didn't really take me anywhere in terms of lyrics or any kind of real melody or whatever. The singing sounded kind of thrashy. I don't know. It's kind of a miss for me, if I'm being perfectly honest. But I'm curious. Maybe if you can let me know in the comments if there's something that might be a better gateway in. Because like I say, I just went on YouTube and found the most viewed thing, which is usually a good entry point. But yeah, I don't know. Is Buzzo, let me also know if you think he's just a kind of guy who runs his mouth haphazardly. I don't find him to be particularly funny. Now, like, the difference between him and a guy like Henry Rollins, they're very comparable from the limited amount that I know. Very influential artists from early origins of various scenes. But Henry Rollins is maybe a little more articulate and definitely a little more entertaining and funny. And he's transitioned away from music almost solely into being a commenter and just a kind of audio podcasting radio host kind of guy now. If that, maybe that's where Buzzo wants to go. I don't know, but let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. And by all means, look, I can already imagine that I probably said something that sounds confounding or stupid to some real Melvins fans. So I'm putting it to you. You tell me what I should listen to. Change my mind. I didn't hear a lot in there that really intrigued me, if I'm being 100% honest. Change my mind. I have time to listen to music, and I love listening to music, and I love getting into new stuff. So change my mind.